Okay, this is a skeleton of the class we'll be building in this tutorial. If you're new to object-oriented programming, these are called class properties. And class properties are variables basically, but they're called properties when they are defined inside a class. We've got data array. This is the data that will be passed to the validator when a user submits a form, a registration form, for example. And this will add errors to this array should any of our validation rules fail. And these are our validation rules. The name could be required, and the age must be a number. So yeah, and the messages, these are the messages to display when a validation rule fails. Okay, and this is a constructor. A constructor runs when a new instance of a class is created, and we've got a method to validate our data, and we've got a method to add errors to our errors array should any of our validation rules fail. And we've got a method to validate required fields. We've got a method to validate numbers. Okay, this is a constructor, and it runs when a new instance of this class is created. Let me quickly demo that. So I'm going to create a new instance of this validator. Oops. I'm gonna pass in empty arrays for now. Let me put some test code within this constructor. The constructor just ran. Constructor just ran. So yeah, just remember that a constructor runs the moment a new instance of a class is created, and we use a constructor to pass information that's needed by the class to the class. For example, this validator class needs the data to validate, and it also needs validation rules. Otherwise, we won't be able to do validation without the validation rules. Again, the validation rules could be name is required, age must be a number. Okay, and now let's go ahead and initialize the data property of our class to whatever is passed as a parameter here. And the validation rules as well. Now, the moment we create an instance of this class, now this property will hold whatever value is passed as a parameter here. Okay, and then we can use the information that's stored in this property however we want to use it. Okay, let's define a method for testing purposes just to display the validation rules. Okay, and for that we're going to use the var dump, and we want to var dump this validation rules. Okay, okay, now let's go ahead and test it. Okay, here I'm passing my validation rules here. The name is required, the age must be a number, and the name is Ella age. 34, and I'm going to call the display validation rules method just for testing purposes, just to show you how we access properties of a class within methods inside a class. Oops, undefined. Okay, it's display validation rules, not validation rule. See, now we're getting this information which we pass as a parameter here. Okay, just remember that this is how we access properties of a class inside methods of a class. We use this keyword then followed by the name of the property.